Hi, this is Kathy, and let's take a look at some ideas for creating an interior and an exterior space in the same drawing. As we look at this photograph, this is a photograph rather than a drawing, but you'll notice some of the principles of atmospheric perspective are helping give this feeling that the model and the architecture that's around her of the ship are very close to us, whereas the water is very far away. So the amount of detail, the value contrast that you see, the darkest and lightest values are all in that very close region. The softness of the edges or the crispness of the edges, and then of course the simple fact of the overlapping gives a powerful feeling that those things are close to us and that far distant horizon is miles and miles away. How can we get that same feeling of interior and exterior in a drawing or a painting? If you look at this painting, you'll see some of the same things happening. So a whole lot more detail, the strongest value contrast, and the crispest edges in the plane of space that's intended to seem closest to us. This student drawing uses some of those techniques. So for example, overlapping here gives us a powerful sense that the window is closer to us than the landscape outside. But the amount of contrast and especially the level of detail are not, if anything, higher in the landscape outside. And that tends to flatten a little bit the illusion that that space is very deep and far away. In this ink drawing, the artist has set up the scene so that there are some interesting objects in front of the window, giving a little more opportunity to create detail, to create sharp edge, to contrast with the somewhat lesser detail outside the window. Because this is pen and ink, there hasn't been a whole lot of difference in the value contrast, and yet some of the features of atmospheric perspective are enhancing the deep space. In this drawing, also in pen and ink, we see much more detail in that space right in front of the windowsill, and that really gives us a strong feeling of the fact that those shells are so much closer to us. Some really nice diagonals are giving a very strong feeling of perspective in the space outside. So it's a nice deep space, although the pen and ink again prevents there from being a really, really strong difference in value contrast. In this charcoal drawing, because of the soft edges that you can get with charcoal, the artist has been able to get three very distinct areas of space: the chair and the lamp in front, the windows themselves, and then beyond that a softened version of a landscape which is clearly outside the window. And of course these atmospheric perspective effects are similar to what you'll see looking out an actual window from a house or from a car. So atmospheric perspective can often require us to suppress some details in order to make a plane of space appear further away. In suppressing details, you can suppress some of the variety and interest that you might like to put in a drawing, and so you don't have to use atmospheric perspective absolutely consistently. There's no need to completely reproduce what you see in front of you. Obviously, you might want to emphasize the details in a plane of space in order to give your drawing more interest. But these principles will really enhance the feeling of a deep space and may help you to give that feeling that one region of your drawing represents an exterior and one represents an interior.